All right, beautiful students. So this is an introduction to the Literary Elements worksheet for Cyrano de Bergerac. As you were reading, actively reading, I asked you to highlight for specific things. And if you recall what I'm referring to here, not the review questions, sorry about that, but the active reading. And specifically, these were the elements that I wanted you to focus on. And you'll notice that these are also the elements that are part of this document. We're looking at character foil. We're looking at romantic hero elements, evidence of symbols, and evidence of motif. So, going back to the directions, you're going to complete this chart. And what I've done for you is I've given you an example for the first one. Okay? But as you're reading, make sure that you make note of character foils for future assignments. Okay? Now that you've read Acts 1 through 4, you should have a large body of literature to choose your evidence from. But make sure that, the quotes that you do cite do have enough information to really prove exactly what's happening with that literature element in that actual passage. So what you're going to do here in column 1 is you're going to review the literary term and you're going to define it, okay? And here I've defined character foil as two characters that are usually, but not always, the same gender, the same age, and have a similar goal. But they have opposite characteristics. These opposite characteristics highlight the contrast between the characters, but also develop the plot, okay? So here, in column 2, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to copy the direct quote, cite it correctly in MLA format, and you're also going to add an introduction. And keep in mind the introduction is to say who is doing what and when. So for my example here of character quote, I've introduced it to give a little bit of a plot reference. Rostand reveals the foil between Cyrano and Lebray when Lebray finds out that Cyrano is in love with Roxanne. Notice the colon, okay? And then I've cited the conversation in correct MLA format. You'll notice here that I've cut out some lines, and that's the reason for the extended dots, to let the readers know that I've cut out a significant amount of lines in between their conversation. And then here at the bottom, I've cited it according to the specifics of the play, which is Act 1, and specifically Scene 5. If we had line numbers, we could add them, but we don't. So you just want to be as specific as you can. And in this conversation, when it comes to column 3, you want to interpret what's happening. And literally, when you think of interpretation, think of interpreting from one language to another. So you're going to actually explain what is happening. And specifically, highlight any other literary devices that you notice in this section. So here, what you'll see that I've done here is kind of given a summary of what's actually happening. I've actually made a reference to key words and key elements that are in each of the lines. And then when you get to column 4, it'll be easier for you to analyze the quote and basically explain how that data reveals the literary element. So specifically here, right, Lebray and Cyrano, who are both male, about the same age and best friends, both reveal that they hope Cyrano may have a relationship with Roxanne. Yet Lebray verbally contradicts Cyrano and shows his difference in opinion. The allusions and imagery highlight the confidence of Lebray and the lack in Cyrano, and it allows the reader to understand Cyrano's character flaw, his lack of self-confidence in his physical appearance, which really truly is his internal conflict that needs to be resolved by the end of the play. So now you have kind of an idea of what I'm looking for. Please give me, again, enough data that really reveals the literary element. And if you need to expand this chart, you're more than welcome to do that. But again, if you need to refer to the elements of a romantic hero, symbols or motifs, you can go back to that document, which you should have already in your Notability, which is the active reading document that really helps to define those things. Okay? Keep in mind that we're working towards theme, right? Theme is always the major point of any piece of art or literature. So my hope is that by highlighting the evidence of these different literary elements, not only in this document, but as you continually read through Act 5 of Cyrano de Bergerac, that you'll be able to identify them a little bit easier and see how they contribute to the overall message of the play. And that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email. Otherwise, have